Russian President Vladimir Putin believes that he cannot afford to lose in Ukraine and is doubling down on the war, but shows no signs of planning to use tactical nuclear weapons, CIA Director Bill Burns said Saturday.
Here's a summary of the article.
Washington. Russian President Vladimir Putin believes that he cannot afford to lose in Ukraine and is doubling down on the war, but shows no signs of planning to use tactical nuclear weapons, CIA Director Bill Burns said Saturday. I think he's in a frame of mind in which he doesn't believe he can afford to lose, Burns said. Putin has not been deterred by the resistance in the war, because he staked so much on the choices that he made to launch this invasion, Burns said. Burns, a former U.S. ambassador to Russia who has spent much time studying the Russian leader, said his and other Western intelligence agencies see no sign that Moscow is prepared to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in order to gain a victory in Ukraine or to target Kyiv supporters. Since then, Putin has made thinly veiled threats hinting at willingness to deploy Russia's tactical nuclear weapons if the West directly intervenes in the Ukraine conflict. Burns said he does not believe that Chinese President Xi Jinping has altered his goal of eventually uniting Taiwan with China, by force if necessary. Beijing has been unsettled by the fact that what Putin has done is to drive Europeans and Americans closer together, Burns said.
This post received a score of 20,000, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Too weak to win, yet can't afford to lose. It's funny how wishful thinking has its limits.
This is what's so mental about the whole endeavor. No one in the Kremlin stopped to ask, what happens if it goes badly? Like, what do they do? How do they pull out? How do they save face? Now we are seeing Putin at the bottom of a deep hole. One he's dug himself, believing that digging deeper is the way to get out.
Dictatorship generally cannot plan for things going wrong, because acknowledging that things could go wrong is considered unacceptable. So they just have to hope.
The Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union is a good example. The Nazis had a logistics report written, which said the invasion would go terribly. So Keitel ordered for the report to be rewritten. 5 days later it comes back saying everything will be fine.
While this is true, almost everyone in the world thought that USSR would crumble under the weight of Nazi invasion force. Actually, it's the same with Ukraine today. Slavs, and Eastern European people in general, usually prefer death over unwilling occupation. And #X200B. Sigh.
Considering what the occupying Russians are doing, I would, too.
Honestly, I'm surprised whenever seeing Ukrainian soldiers surrender. It seems that fighting until last breath would be preferable to whatever fate awaits you as a prisoner of the Russians. Obviously, it's easy to say that from the safety of my home.
They are sometimes exchanged for Russian POW.
Well, at this point, if I were him, I'd lose all my hair. He just can't know what to do. If he persists in a losing war, he'll be replaced after a coup. If he withdraws, he'll most likely also will be replaced after a coup. His only option would be to win the war, but no one in the world is saying that happen, and I don't think he has a special winning scenario operation in his head. Putin is deeply fucked.
This is why it's a dangerous scenario. As long as he's deluded enough to think he's winning, he'll keep losing the way he is now. But once the reality hits, he'll just start dragging people into the grave with him out of spite, like the narcissistic abusive fucker he is.
I mean, that's already happening. He is throwing all of Russia with him already.
That's just small games for him. Imagine what he'd do if he actually gets convinced there's no way out.
I don't want to think this guy actually lost his mind. And if he didn't, what you're hinting at is not gonna happen. So I really hope I'm not wrong.
I'd point out that if you think the only outcome here is coup, then I doubt his military would support any order for nuclear launchers if they were planning to oust him shortly after he gives one anyway.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.